Just going to test that I'm live. Just going to test that I'm live. Hello Alison, hello there. Thank you for joining me. As you're the first person on, I will ask you, Alison, if you can hear and see me okay. Hello Marguerite, hello there. How are you? Sound and picture perfect. Bless you, Heidi. Thank you very much. Thank you, Flower. Good evening, Tracy. Thanks, Heidi. Hello, Sheila. Hello there. Good evening, Sylvia. Good evening. I've made it home in time. Well, I nearly didn't, Anne. I've been running around like an idiot. Yes, perfect. Thank you, Alison. Thank you. Hi, Ruth. I have been running around like an idiot all day. Hello, Trudy. Good evening. Hi, Maureen. Hello, lovely. Hi, Mimi. Good evening, Jan. Good evening, Mimi. I hope you're all well. Hello, Karen. Hi, all. Managed to get the right time this week. Hi, Karen. To be fair, I think I did the first one a bit later, and then I'm just sticking to this time because if I do it later, I can't fit enough into my evening because I have orders to pack, etc. So I have to do it a little bit earlier. Hello, Jean. Hi, Trina. It's lovely to have your company. Thank you for joining me. Hi, Jane. It's absolutely freezing here as well, Jane. It's been such a cold day, but it's chilly in Minnesota. I can hear and see you fine. Thanks, Anne. Hello, Rachel. Hello there. Hi, Avril. How are you, Avril? I hope everybody's well. We've been a bit hectic here. I've literally had to carve a 6-inch space in the craft room because everything from downstairs where we were having work done has been shoved in my craft room. So at the moment we're in a little bit of disruption and Ian's trying to tidy things up whilst I'm doing this live. Hello, Nicola. Hi there. Welcome and thank you for joining me. Hello, Diane. I hope you're feeling a little bit better. Hi there. Waves. Hi, Nanny Chris. Hello, Tracy. Hi, Louise. So this Facebook Live is definitely going to be simple because I'm no word of a lie. I've literally had 2 minutes before I went live to pick something. So I've just picked something really quickly. Hello, Christine. Hi, Heather. So I do apologise, there is no prep. I just haven't had a minute to myself. And Christine says, hi, Heidi. You do this every year before Christmas. You're mad. I know, I do it every time. I think it's because, Diane, I don't want any workmen around while it's gardening season. So I quite like everybody away. So I seem to have jobs done at this time of year. It is cold, isn't it, Avril? You have snow. Wow. Yes, exactly, Avril. Perfect crafting weather. Hi, Chris. Right. So the one thing you do know is that I could quickly grab. Hi, Irene. No problem, Irene. I didn't come on till bang on 6. So the one thing you do know is that I'm going to be using Pink Frog Super Smooth card 4x6 and a black mat. That's as far as I got. Hi, Bev. I've just literally packed your order. It's on the way. So I've literally just packed it. I've just got to send you the confirmation of the tracking number. So yes, so at least you know I'm using these anyway, if nothing else. That'd be an interesting live. So whilst I'm waffling, I'm racking my brain thinking, what am I making? What am I making? So the stamp that I grabbed, I tried to look for and I haven't used for a bit. So I'm going to use Flower Power. So we're going to use Flower Power. I love how you all greet each other as well. It's lovely. I love that. I love that you greet each other. Good evening, Leslie. Good evening. You're very welcome, Bev. Thank you for your order, Flower. So I'm going to use Flower Power because I've not used it for a bit. So the only reason I'd got is I haven't used it for a bit. That was it. Hello, Katinka. Hello there. So because I haven't used it a bit, that's the one that got chosen. So I'm just going to take a deep breath. Just take a deep breath. I hope you're well, Katinka. And we're going to start with our 4x6 inch card. I've got my 5x7 inch card blank. Hello, Kim. So at least you know I've got them because they're already pre-done for me. So at least I didn't have to prep that. So they're all pre-done for me. I hope you're well, Kim. And I thought I'd use Flower Power with a stencil I haven't used for a bit because SS25, I need to do some more ticketed snippets. I haven't done ticketed snippets for a bit, but I'm not doing a ticketed snippet now. I'm doing a card. So I'm going to use SS25. So SS25 and TE37. Them are my choices this evening. And I think I'm going to do a blue and brown combination. I love that one, Anne, but I haven't used it for a bit because I've been so snowed under. Sometimes one stamp gets missed a little bit and I've missed that one. So I want to use it tonight. So I'm going to take my black ink and guess what? I've not got it out. What a surprise. So let's not ink straight over the card. Hello, Kim. Hello, lovely. I hope you're well. So this is my chance just to take a breather because it has been a hectic day. So this is my chance just to breathe for a second. So I'm going to use my Nocturne ink. Now, none of my words are going to come out properly. I got that stencil out today ready to play. Oh, yay, Chris. Hi, Sue. Hi, I'm cooking, so I'm just watching. No problem, Sue. At least you're cooking and I'm starving. No need to be top prepared. You will make something awesome. We hope, Louise, we hope. The brain is just swamped. Right, so I'm going to use my black ink pad. Now, this is quite a large stamp, so I'm going to make sure that I give that a really good inking. So lots of tapping with that ink because we've got a really detailed stamp there. I'm going to pick this up and try not to drop it. Do you ever get a little bit, you know, when you've got so much on, you're a bit flustered. So I'm going to try and not drop the stamp. So let's have this here, like so. There we go. So I'm just going to add this to my 4x6 inch card, super smooth card, because this will take some moisture for me if I decide to add moisture. And Sylvia's saying hi to Katinka as well. So because it's got quite a lot of detail on there, I'm just giving that a few moments just to absorb onto the surface of the card. I don't have to worry too much because I haven't got any oxide inks on there initially. So now my card is a little more porous. Honestly, Chris, when I'm a bit flustered, I often drop my acrylic block and stamp. I do it quite frequently, especially if I've got a lot on and I'm multitasking. I often drop the stamp. So it wouldn't surprise me if I don't drop the stamp during a live. So let's lift that up. And we've got a beautiful image, really beautiful. And we really should blot that. So I'm just going to grab some copier paper. And I'm blotting it because I'm going to add some colour. Hello, Rebecca. I've just packed your order, Rebecca. It's on the way to you. So you should receive it Saturday. So let's just blot this. Now, the reason I'm blotting it is because I'm going to use some Prismacolor pencils that are on my desk because they're already on my desk. It's my fingers annoying. Oh, bless. Well, at least you still craft, Chris. At least you still craft. So the reason I'm blotting it is just to take a little bit of that black so that it's not so moist, because when you use your Prismacolors, because it's waxy these are wax based, it will pick up some of that VersaFine Clair. So that's the reason I've just blotted that for a second. I'm now going to hopefully grab a pencil, and I'm going to take the ticket, which is SS25. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to decide, I can move this round now and decide which part of the floral I want to have sort of within the stenciled area. And I want some of the black outside of the stenciled area. So let me just see. It's going to take me forever to decide. So I'm going to frustrate you because it'll take me forever. Let's bring it down a little bit. There we go. Hi Anne, lovely to see you here. That was from Katinka. So I'm literally going to use my pencil just to draw around the ticket up to the petals. So I'm not drawing through the petals, I'm going up to the petals. So we're just going up to the petals each time and up to the stems. So I'm not drawing through them. Let me make sure I've not missed anywhere. There we go. So I'm just going to lift this up, drop the pasta sauce spoon on the floor tonight. Then instead of throwing the grater in the sink, I threw the block of, hang on, let me just, the block of cheese. Husband stood there laughing, so don't talk about dropping. Threw the block of cheese in the sink. So just so you can see this, you can see that I've drawn around with the ticket. I've just drawn around with the ticket. I have little feeling in my left hand, so I often drop things. Oh no, that's a nightmare, Ruth. But we still persevere, don't we? We still plod on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some colour to the ticket initially. So because I'm going to use brown and blue, I'm going to take Vintage Photo, because I like that lovely warm brown. And then I'm going to take a little bit of ground espresso. So let's take the Vintage Photo. And I'll leave that there, then I can remember that that goes there. I keep them in colour order because I have to for the shop. Good evening, Sally. Good evening, lovely. Lovely to see you. That's something I would do. No problem at all, Sally. All as we've done, Sally, is I've stamped in black with the Flower Power, and then I've drawn around my ticket stencil just around the floral and gone up to the floral. I've not gone through the floral. Hello Marie, hello there. So hopefully we've got some brushes here. Yes, we have. I haven't got my jar of water this time because I forgot, and I'm just going to add a little bit of water here. Do you know, I put that in front of the iPad then, thinking that you wouldn't be able to see. No, Tracy. I've done far worse, Leslie. So this is going to be a lovely, simple make. So we've got Vintage Photo and we've got ground espresso. So let's take ground espresso. We'll just move those out of the way a little bit. And I'm going to take my Vintage Photo. And with the Vintage Photo, I'm just going to paint inside the ticket. So I'm just going to paint inside that ticket. I'm just going to grab a little bit more water. My daughter has paresthesia since she was 26 after a road traffic accident. Can't feel anything in her hands. Oh, crikey. Oh, wow, Diane. That's not good. Ask me how many dinner services that she's... Oops. That mustn't be easy. That mustn't be. Not being able to feel at all. So you can see that I'm just using a fine brush. Hello, Alison. Back, sorry, was getting updates on daughter. She had surgery today. Oh, I hope it went okay, Alison. I hope the surgery went okay. And everything went as planned. So I hope it all went as planned. So we're doing a very simple card, but it still takes me time, especially because my hands are shaking because I'm also hungry. Honestly, what am I like? So I'm just adding the vintage photo just to the ticket. So you can see this will then make any colours that I add to the floral pop. Ask Tracy to tell you the tale of standing in the window, getting dresses and giving the cows the full Monty. So funny. Getting dressed in front of the window and giving the cows the full Monty. Oh, I just love it. you always had some good stories, you did, Leslie, in our lives. Just so funny. Yep, she's coming round, 6 teeth out. Oh, I'm glad she's okay. Oh, thank you, Chris. Tracy, you forgot to eat. No, I hadn't, honestly, Rebecca. As per normal, hubby is cooking for me, but because the house is in just a total shambles at the moment, he's just moved a few bits and pieces away because, if I'm honest with you, I literally took loads of stuff out of my craft room and literally chucked it in the lounge because I couldn't get in the craft room because everything was dumped in there. And I was like, I'm doing a Facebook Live and I can't get in. So, yes. So he's just tidied that up and now he's cooking tea. Leslie, you shouldn't call your neighbours that. So as you can see, it's a bit darker there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to come in and add a little bit more of the vintage photo just here at this edge here, just so that it's a little bit darker. I did that when I was young. I'm a farmer's daughter. Had loads of fun. Oh, I bet you can tell a few stories, Chris. So I'm just making that a little bit darker at the edge, and then I'm just going to blend that out. There we go. So I'm now going to do the other side. So you'll have to bear with me a little bit. I'm a bit on the slow side tonight. I mean, I'm normally on the slow side most days, so I don't know why I'm trying to make up excuses, but I am definitely on the slow side. So let's just, and I do want to try and make something at least half decent if I can. So you can see, defo, I did that when I was young. Now, I think I have sort of got undressed in the bedroom and totally forgotten when I was younger the houses opposite when I lived with my mum. Done that quite a few times. But when you were young, I was always racing round to get out. Never thought about windows. So let's just blend this out. So just blending that out. Hi, Jill. Hi, Jill. I hope you're all right. Not too much of a busy day at work, if you have been work today. So I'm just blending this out now so it's a little bit lighter in the centre area. But you can see I'm not touching those petals. Craft is relaxing, we don't rush. Absolutely, Yvonne, absolutely. But I definitely can't rush tonight. So it's a nice, gentle, relaxing live. So this is one of the Few Mew brushes. I'm just using one of them because I finally treated myself to a fine brush. I know the excitement, one only fine brush. I mean, I think it was actually, there was more in the pack than one. But you can see that sort of sets everything up. When are you giving us the cracker jokes, Tracy, so we can be prepared? I was thinking when I do the first 12 days of December, I thought I could bring the cracker jokes out because then when my makes are really naff, you'll enjoy the cracker jokes more than my makes, you see, because I know how good my cracker jokes. Oh, there you go, spilt a bit. You know how good my cracker jokes are. So I thought I'd bring the cracker jokes out to take your mind off my makes. There we go. So we'll just take this. So we're going to take a little bit more of vintage photo. Let's take a little bit of that water off. Now, I'm sorry about the ringing on the front door. Ian's trying to tidy some things away. So just making this a little bit darker. Just around the edge, just a little bit darker. Just around where the floral is. So just making, glad I've finished today, thank you. Hello Lee, hello there. I hope you're okay, Lee. So I'm just putting my fingers a bit closer on that brush, just so I can come a little bit closer to that floral. And just make sure I get right up there and I don't leave any touches of white. So I'm just making sure that I get right up in the gaps. Trust Ronnie to start yapping and making me late. Oh, bless Carol. Poor Ronnie. So we're just colouring that. And then I'm just going to blend that out a little bit. We'll pick up a little bit more of the colour and just blend that out. So I've just made that a little bit darker, just around the floral. And I'm going to do the same just around here as well. Let me just add a little bit more Vintage Photo. I've got a little bit of kitchen roll here on the side, so that if I've got too much water, I can just keep dabbing that off. And then I can just bring it a little bit darker, just right close to the floral. Just bringing that really dark into that floral. So adding, oh, thank you, Sally. So just adding it really dark into the floral here. Go right into there. Just so that it's going to pop a little bit more. And I'm going to colour parts of the floral as well. So let's take a little bit of the tinted water and let's just blend this out a little bit more. There we go. So I'm going to come back in again to the dark. My friend rang, she's in hospital here now. Oh, is she okay, your friend Lee? I hope she's okay. So I'm just making it a little bit darker. And this is why a fine brush is definitely needed when you're getting into the fine detail. Just when you're getting into that fine detail, you need to make sure that you can get in there. But using the tinted water just allows you to blend it out a little bit more, just so that it's dark around the floor. So yes, I hope your friend's okay, Lee. So let me move this stamp set out of the way because it's now hindering me. I'm going to leave some of that colour there, but I'm just going to take a little bit of the moisture away just so we don't get in a mess, because I know what I'm like, I'll drop it. So let's just remove that moisture. So what I'm going to do now, so you can see, you could quite easily leave it like that if you wanted to. I'm going to add some blues and I'm going to use my Prismacolor pencils. Now, because I've allowed this to rest, that's ideal, because then the black won't smudge with the pencil. So I'm going to use Indigo Blue, PC901. I'm then going to use Electric Blue, PC1040. She's not brilliant. She was away with the fairies. Oh, Lee, I hope she feels better soon. And then we've got Cloud Blue 1023. So if you wanted to, you could quite easily leave it as it is. But I'm going to add some blue. But I'm only going to add the blue to the bits that are in here. So just at the bits that are here and here. So anything that's sticking outside of the ticket, I'm not going to colour. So I'm going to start off with my Indigo Blue. So we're going to start off with the Indigo Blue and just add a little bit of the Indigo Blue. just a light layer. It's not nice when friends are in, when anybody's in hospital. It really isn't pleasant. So let's just come to around about there. So I'm just adding colour up to where the ticket ends. So I'm not going to go past where the floral goes over the ticket. So I'm not going to go past there. So we'll add a little bit of the blue here and here. You'll see better the more I add the layers. So initially I'm just using this dark colour, which is indigo blue. So I'm just using the dark indigo blue. So you are just about in there and there. So you can see anything that is overhanging is not going to get coloured. That will remain white. So let's have, so at the moment you can't see much because I'm just adding a tiny bit of that colour. So this is just the dark colour, and I will repeat once more for anybody that watches after the live. This is what 901 indigo blue. I'm then going to go to my electric blue, and I would recommend that you sharpen your pencils. It is a lot easier when your pencils are sharper. Much easier when your pencils are sharper. But we haven't got time to faff with that at the minute. And once you start laying down the initial colour, your eye, you know exactly where you're going then. You're not sort of all over the place. Passable, thank you. So I'm going to continue adding the electric blue 1040, and at the moment you can't really see much of a difference because we don't have much of a blend there at the moment, but that will come. That will come eventually. Just a little bit of blue there. And then we're going to use the very pale blue, and if I keep these in order and then I'll pick them up correct. This is the cloud blue, which is 1023. So the 1023. And I will lift it up so you can see how little colour I've got on there initially, and why you can't see much maybe in the camera, because I'm just sort of scribbling a little bit of that colour on just here and there. I'll lift it up so that you can see, but as we lay down more colour it will become more visible. So you can see anything that's sticking out I'm not going to colour. So I'm just colouring what's within the ticket. So it's like a ticket spotlight. So it's like doing a ticket spotlight. So we'll come in now and we'll just add a little bit more of that really dark blue. So we'll come in and we're just going to add a little bit more of that dark blue. And we'll start to get a little bit more depth on our floral. Thank you, Lee, thank you. We'll start to get a little bit more depth on the floral. And as always, when we are applying our Prismacolors, it is best if we just apply light layers and that we don't feel too rushed. The thing that you have to remember is to stop when you get to here, so that you don't colour in this part of the floral. That's the hardest bit, is remembering not to colour that bit, which I often, on many occasions, just ignore that and go straight over when I didn't want to. And I can already see now where I've missed some of the brown. So whilst I'm here, let's just grab a little bit more water. So let's just grab a little bit more water. This is the advantage of adding the colour. You can start to see then, I've lost it again, where you've missed. So I've missed a bit there. I've missed a bit there, but there was a bigger patch. There it is. So we'll just come in with a little bit more. So when you start to add the blue, you can see where you've missed is, you know, the thingy. I've been practicing, Irene. I've been practicing, bless you. So we need to add a little bit more depth. So we're now going to go to our second colour, electric blue. And again, with your electric blue, now I don't want to go too far. I don't want to go right to the end there. So I'm just adding a little bit of that electric blue. And as I come into the project, now is that a petal or is that a gap? You see, this is where your eyes will deceive you a little bit because there's a gap there. So we just need to add that. Yes, I could put the stencil back on, but can you see I'm going, if you see Ruth, I'm going up here. Oh, hang on, up there. So the stencil won't help me because I'm going up where the floral has got a white area, where the petals are separated. So I'm just going up there where the petals are separated. The pencils that I'm using, Yvonne, are, so my darkest colour is Indigo Blue PC 901. My mid colour is PC 1040 Electric Blue. And my light colour is Cloud Blue PC 1023. So I'm still continuing with the electric blue. So we've just got that electric blue. And what you'll notice is you'll miss some of these little petals. So you don't want to miss the little petals that are in here. So don't miss your little petals. I do it every single time. I miss the little petals. So don't miss those little petals in there. But you're only adding a little bit of colour there so that you don't go outside the ticket, because then you've got that spotlight of a ticket. And always have, she's not having a good time at the moment. Aww. So whilst you're colouring, every time you see a little bit in between the floral that needs colouring, just colour it in a little bit more if you've got a white area showing. But the more colour of the pencils we add, the more layers, the better it will start to look. So I'm going to come in with my lightest colour. Now with your lightest colour, go in to all the other colours with your lightest colour. So with your lightest colour, go into the previous colours with that lightest colour. But don't press too hard. Don't press too hard, because you want to lay down more pigment. So don't come in too hard with that. So just be patient and don't come in too hard. It is hard to watch when friends and family are not well. It's not easy at all. So let's just add a little bit of this pale colour. This pale colour is blending the other two colours. Oh, thank you, Louise. Now, when I go in with like a deeper, darker layer, I really do need to sharpen my pencils. So let me grab my bin. Hi, Sue. Hi, Sue. So I hope you're well, Sue. I'm just going to sharpen my pencils because I can really get into the fine detail. Just sharpen them a little bit more and then I'll just push them through the ink. Hope you're well, Sue. So I can't recommend enough, when you're getting into fine detail, I personally think it's easier to use a sharper pencil. We all have our little quirks that we like when we're colouring. When we're doing anything really, I suppose. Right, let's put that bin out the way. There we go. I feel a little bit better now I've sharpened them. So now I've got a sharper pencil. I'd have it even sharper than that normally. But I'm going to come in now and I'm going to just add a little bit more of that darkness. And I'm going to, this will probably be my last layer. Sometimes I add 4 layers. And Maureen says, how are you, Sue? So I'm just coming in a little bit darker now and laying that down a little bit darker. And as you go round, you can come in with a little bit of your vintage photo, especially if you've just missed the odd little bit. So just have that there ready. So just come in with your dark pencil. So I'm just going to do the dark layer on all the petals again now, but it's going to be much darker because I'm laying down much more. Oh, I nearly went outside then. So easy to go outside, I forget. So I'm now coming in with a little bit more depth on that pencil. Just busy. Hope you and Gert are well. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Jill. So I'm losing myself in the colouring and instantly I already feel calmer than about 20 minutes ago. So I'm just adding, now I don't want to go past there, so let's just add that colour there. I want to add a little bit of the blue here. So I'm adding, busy, I'll message you later. Oh, I love Prismacolors. They're just, I find them really enjoyable and easy to blend. And because they're easy to blend and they make you look good, you don't get frustrated with your colouring. You don't lose hope that you can't do it. So I quite like them because they make me look good. So they're so easy to use. Very, you know, with them being wax based as well, sort of creamy as well. The polychromos are top quality as well. So I'm going to use my electric blue. I'm loving them as well, I must admit. Me too, Trina. So I'm then going to come in with the electric blue. And with the electric blue, I'm going to come in a little bit firmer now. And as I come in a little bit firmer, I'm going in to that darker colour. So I'm blending the darker colour, going into that dark colour. Here I can't go as far because I don't want to go over the ticket. So I'm going into that dark colour. I've told Santa I would like new pencils. I hope Santa's listening. It's an ideal time to ask for Prismacolors or whatever pencils you enjoy, because it's a beautiful Christmas present. It really is. I either had mine for Christmas or birthday, I can't remember now. It was one of them. But definitely worth it from Santa. They're definitely a lovely present to get from Santa. So with this mid colour, I'm going in to my dark colour now. And it starts to come to life a little bit more now, which is what I like. Oh, and Carol as well. I think it's a really good present to ask for personally. And I've used mine so much. I remind him every Saturday. I remind my son every Saturday. They're lovely. They're so lovely to use. I don't even know what I've got for tea. I've normally been told, oh, we're having this for tea. No idea. we go. So you can see how that's coming along. I've put pencils on my list for my son to buy. I'm liking these Christmas lists. I love knowing what people's Christmas lists are. So now I'm going to use the cloud blue for the last time. And I'm going to blend in to the other colours with that cloud blue. I like knowing what everybody's having for Christmas. Not because I'm nosy, not at all. I'm really nosy. I love knowing what people are having for Christmas. Or hoping for Christmas, not having, hoping. I enjoy my Christmas and Faber-Castell polys. Yes, polychromos are beautiful as well. But I tend to reach for my Prismas all the time. There we go. But I love to just take my time and lose myself in a little bit of colouring. Now, remember with your light colour, go back into those previous colours so that you sort of drag out some of that colour. And it just blends everything beautifully. And what I would say is, with your colouring, don't get frustrated. Take your time and just enjoy the process. It's part of the fun. And honestly, when you do something you're really pleased with, it makes it all worthwhile. It really does. It makes it so worthwhile. Let's just blend there a bit. I mean, most of the time I do add 4 layers, but 3 layers will be fine here. I buy craft stuff for Christmas, wrap it, put it under the tree and put a tag from Santa. And I've done that as well, Heidi, because hubby never buys me craft stuff. So I put things under the tree or for myself, and Ian will say, what's that one? I say, oh, it's from me to me. No, I didn't use masking fluid, Sue. What I did was, let me lift this up for you. I stamped the flowers first, and then I placed this over the top and drew a pencil line up to the flowers. I just drew a pencil line so I'd got the ticket going up to the flowers, and then I painted inside. You can use your masking fluid if you want, and then you can just go straight over it. But I like doing this anyway. I'll have to say, try that. Look at me ink now. Do you think it's a bit dry? So I'm going to take the vintage photo again. Now, Heidi, I've ordered from Tracy to give to my partner to give me back for Christmas. She has as well. Heidi has ordered from, Rebecca has ordered from me for herself to give to her other half to put under the tree. So what I'm going to do is, I'm just with too much water on there, picking up the neat colour, and I'm just going to see where it needs a little bit more. So just have a look at your floral. You can use your masking fluid if you wish, and then you can just go straight over. But for me, I like to get in there, right into the petals, to get that dark line. It makes it pop. So I do like to get in there so that we've got that darkness of colour. It really does then pop because it's really dark where the floral is. So I'm just going to mop that up, and I'm going to go into the, what colour was it? Ground Espresso. Nice, simple technique. So I'm going to go into the colour that I can't keep remembering, Ground Espresso. And just so you can see, I've got my kitchen roll here and I keep dabbing on it. And I'm going to just come in a little bit more with that Ground Espresso. Just to give it a little bit more depth. You could say a friend bought it for you. Yes, if you buy something for yourself. Ian, my hubby knows me too well. He knows that if there's something I want for Christmas, there's no point me wait. I don't wait. I buy it myself and say, oh, look, this is what I've got for Christmas. Do you want to give me some pennies? That's lovely, thank you. And that's what I do. So I've got that Ground Espresso so that it's really dark at the edge, just so that you can see it's really dark. around the edge. So I'm just picking up. I have no self-control. Items arrive and I give them straight to Henny. Yes, I'm quite good at actually saving presents. I'm actually quite good. That's because I get really excited about getting them. So I'm using the ground espresso now just to make it a little bit darker around the edge. But better late than never. Hello, Fiona. Hello there. So I'm just using the ground espresso and I'm just making this a little bit darker just around the edges so you can really see the edges. Now I've got this tinted water here and I can just go into the vintage photo and I can just blend it out a little bit more. So I'm picking that vintage photo up and just blending that a little bit more. My lake this morning had frozen. It was stunning listening to the ice crack. Crikey, it had got to a high level, Lee. It had got to quite a high level, hadn't it? So there we go. That's lovely. Let me just put a little bit more. So I'm just using my tinted water to sort of blend everything. So I'm now going to bring in a little bit of water onto this area here where I've got bring this down, Tracy, where I've got this vintage photo. And I'm just going to take my fan brush, dab off the excess, and then I'm just going to dab a few little very delicate splatters just on my white area as well. Just dab a little bit, just very gentle, nothing too overpowering. My daughter has placed an order for my Christmas goodies. Ooh, how exciting. There we go. So I'm just adding some very light splatters. Let's move this out of the way. I'm going to clean up, even though I may end up coming back, just so that we don't end up getting this everywhere at the moment, because I know what I'm like. I like it when everybody's getting your Christmas goodies for you. I'm then going to use my, oh, thank you, Anne. I'm going to use my Gansai Tambi Starry colours. Now it should have the colours. Now it says blue gold. It's 901. Let's try that. So I only want a little touch. You can use a gold pen. Oh, bless you, Louise. It's all gone. The order's all gone. So let's just clean my brush and let's see if we've got an even finer brush. Let me see. I'm glaring at my... Oh, that looks nice and fine, look. You can tell I've used it not. So let's pick that fine. Oh, thank you, Sue. I love brown and blue together. So I'm going to pick up a little bit of 901. Let's wipe that just so we've not got that moisture on there. So I'm going to pick up the 901. I just love... Oh, I've actually got a fine brush. I love Gansai Timey. Timey. I was trying to say shiny and Tambi at the same time, but I'm not really good at that at all. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to add a little bit of this, just going around the edge. Now I want it to be fine, so I'm just going to add... Oh yes, I'm liking this brush. Oh, I love this colour as well. So I'm just going around. I will lift this up so you can see, but it's very, very visible close up. And whoever receives the card will see that little bit of shimmer as well. So let's come in and we'll add a little bit of shimmer to the inside of that floral. And I'm going to take a little bit of shimmer and add it to the florals. Oh, bless Lee. you could use them, Yvonne, like I'm doing. You can use them on black card. Have I got any black card here? They look lovely on black card, but I'm just using them just to give a little bit of a gold height. Men just don't understand our need, do they? They absolutely don't. And it's all right. I don't need a man to buy them for me. I'll just ask for the pennies to make sure I get them. There we go. Oh, I'm loving the touches of gold. Let me just lift this up so you can see. Hopefully you can see. There we go. The touches of gold that I'm just adding. Just so you can see the touches of gold. So I'm just picking this up neat, and with this very fine brush, it really works nicely. Let's add some gold touches just to the centre as well. I'm losing myself, you see. I'm losing myself. So I'm just going to add a little bit of the gold. It just lifts it really, really nicely. Just to give it a little bit of sparkle. Now I'm not going to go over the tag, so I'm keeping it inside the tag area. So I'm just going to add a little bit of gold just to the centre. Again, I'm going to lift that up so you can see the shimmer. And then I'm just adding a few little bits to the, oh thank you Irene, just to the floral. Let's just add a little bit to that floral. So I'm just playing and adding a little bit. I'm not going over the white area there. And then I'm going to take a little bit, thank you Chris. So I'm just going to take that, and then I'm just going to add a little bit of the white gold trace. I told you my brain wasn't working, didn't I? So we're just adding that down the stem, and it gives it a little bit of opulence. That's again just inside your ticket, just inside the ticket. Let me just show you the shimmer. Hang on. You can see the shimmer just in there. And then if you just so you can see, let's see what it's like on black. You can see they work beautiful on black. So on black card, if I stamped this, so on yesterday's video, I did this bauble. You could come in, because it's on the black, and you could add the gold to the black card as well. So quite nice idea. So I want to add a little bit of text. I always want to add a little bit of text. You know what I'm like. And I'm not going to add too much to it because I don't want to, I want that to be the main focal area. So first of all, let's add a little bit of shading around our ticket. And you can see even a simple project, it does take me a while. I am rather slow. It makes a difference, doesn't it, Yvonne? You can get yours out now, Yvonne, and use them, which makes me very happy. Let's not use brown. Oh, bless you, Jean. So let's just need to get rid of this brown now. And yes, if you're good, you can have several brushes on the go, but it just shows you how pigmented everything is. So I'm going to come around and just add some shading just around here. Just makes it look a little bit more 3D. The gold, I can't tell you, it gives it a very opulent feel. It's really, really lovely. So I'm going to take a little bit. Yeah, so you could, because this is I did it on yesterday's video when I was doing this video. So on yesterday's video, when I did the bell, I did the bauble as well. It's on YouTube, but you could add gold or these white touches on here, the white gold. So the white gold on that would look lovely. Right, so I'm going to add some text, and it does make it pop a little bit more, doesn't it, Alyssa? Definitely. I'm going to add a little bit of text, and I don't want to, go too over the top. I don't want to do too much to it. So I'm going to take the vintage photo, she says, with lots of stuff all over me. So let's get rid of the ground espresso, and let's just take the vintage photo. I'm going to take TE11 background elements. Always ink away from your project. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a little bit of stamping. So for me, because it's too tone on tone, so I'm going to grab Portobello. Where's Portobello? What colour are you? Black. Portobello. This is the thing when you've got stuff out everywhere. Oh, there it is. So I'm going to take Portobello because it'll just be a little bit darker. Because it's too tone on tone there. I just want it a little bit darker. So let's just add a little bit. That's better. I'm just going to add little tiny touches of text, and I will lift it up so that you can see exactly what I'm doing. You can see there's just little bits of text just here and there. I don't want to add too much. Again, I don't want to overpower too much. It makes it look a little bit more vintage, doesn't it? So you can keep it at whatever level you want. You don't have to do every little bit. You can keep it exactly how you want. You don't have to add every piece. I'm then going to go back to the stamp set, and on the Flower Power stamp set I've got the word flowers. So I'm going to take that flowers text, grab a smaller acrylic block. Thank you, Marie, thank you. And I would personally go in with layers of the gold. Thank you, Kim. So you need to get them out and wake them up. I like it when you wake up your products and they don't gather dust. I like it. So I'm going to take my Nocturne ink. Make sure that stamp doesn't fall off. And then I'm just going to add the word flowers just here. I'm not sure I've got that ability. So I've got the word flowers just on there. And I'm just going to grab my copier paper and just blot that. And then I'm going to take a little bit of the gold again. Oh, thank you, Anne. No, I hadn't got a clue what I was going to make. In fact, there was no time to think about it. Oh, thank you, Sally. So I'm going to add a little touch of the gold just around a couple of areas on my lettering, just so it looks like it's all part of it. So I'm just giving a few touches to the letters. And if we just hold this up just so you can see all the gold, just so you can see that. And then I just want to add a little bit of shading just below the flowers. Now if you wanted to, you could add this to a gold mat and layer. It would be entirely up to you. I'm just going to blend this out. A little bit more water, Tracy. So I'm just going to blend that out a little bit. I'm a bit stingy on the water. There we go. Just blend that out a little bit. And then I'm going to add this to a black mat. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a little bit. Hello, Amanda. How are you, lovely? I'm just going to grab a little bit of brown shading. Let's grab a little bit of brown shading. Yes, this will be uploaded to YouTube, Chris. Absolutely. So I'm just going to take a little bit of vintage photo and I'm just going to come in just very gently around the edges, just with a little bit of that vintage photo. Not too much, just a little bit. So just add a little bit of the vintage photo. Just a tiny little bit. I hope you're well, Amanda. So we're just going to blend this. And then when I've added the matte and layer, I will show you the gold again. Let's just add, there we go. So just adding a little bit of that brown around there. Yes, I always add them to YouTube because I don't want to lose them. There we go. Then, what I'm going to do then is I'm going to bring in the black mat. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a little bit of gold. The vintage photo is the little Distress Oxides, but you can use your big oxide, obviously. Yes, it's Distress Oxide. So I'm going to grab a gold Posca pen. I do the same. So I'm going to grab a gold Posca pen, if I can remember which one's gold. There we go. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a touch of gold just to the edge, of the black card. The pencils, I don't have the Prismacolor pencils. Maybe it's something out, but yeah, I don't have the Prismacolor pencils. My mum phoned in the middle. No problem, that will be put onto YouTube. So let's give that a wipe. So I've just added a little bit of gold, and the reason I've done that is that so it looks a little bit more considered. I know that I'd got no plan, but I still like it to look like I care. The big oxides are absolutely fine, no different. So I'm going to add this. Can you tell I need some more glue? There we go. So I'm just going to add this to my mat. And even though I hadn't got a plan, with just adding that gold around the edge, I've still got the black on there, but I've also got a touch of gold as well. Let me just, there we go. I love using the little ones. So I've got a touch of gold on there. And then I'm going to add this to my 5x7 card. Make sure the card's facing the right way, which I very rarely do. There we go. And if you just want to use a piece of copier paper, just so that you can rub over your card, just so that you don't put your mucky paw prints everywhere. Heidi, just so that you don't put your mucky paw prints everywhere. And then if I lift this up, you can see that I've got a touch of gold on the edge there, so that it coordinates with the gold just in the piece. And then if you wanted to, you can use your, oh thank you Lee, you can use your Posca gold, or you can use your white if you wish, but you can have a few sort of touches of gold Posca pen, just so it coordinates. There we go. So we've got a few splatters of gold. And that is your card finished. But the gold in real life really sets that off. And it's just nice to do a spotlight in a different, with a different thing, you know, rather than circles with a ticket. But the gold really sort of makes it pop. And I've only kept you for just over an hour. Yay! Thank you, Heidi. So I hope you've enjoyed that. And I hope you'll give it a go. I love seeing your creations. It's just wonderful. I love it. So considering I'd had no time today, you know, I've really enjoyed that. Oh, you're very welcome, Yvonne. You're very welcome. Thank you, Trudy. Thank you. Thank you all for joining me. It's so lovely to have your company. Thank you, Elisa. Thank you. Thank you, Dee. So I'm going to leave you, and I will be back at the weekend. I'll probably upload another video at the weekend with another project. So I will have more coming. And I will see you next Thursday for our live. So love to all, everyone. And I'll see you all soon. I'll take a photo of this tomorrow and I'll put that on social media for you. Bye, everyone. Bye.